Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at the Dyson V7 Motorhead Origin. It's just about the lowest priced Dyson cordless vacuum, coming in at about $250. As per usual, I'll go ahead and start with an unboxing, get it assembled, and finally run through a demo and see if we can't sort out its pros and cons. Let's get to it. First out, we've got the instruction manual topped with a sticker begging you not to return. Instead, they'd like you to call support before heading back to the store. Next out is the wall mounting bracket and the power adapter. These are followed by our lone accessory tool, the combo crevice tool and brush. The extension tube is behind that. Our final two items out are the motorized floor roller and the Motorhead itself. All in all, everything is nicely packaged and appears very easy to assemble. Taking a closer look at it, and I've got to say it's actually quite striking. I'm not sure how it's coming across on your phone, TV, or computer, but it's something of an indigo blue with a satin finish. I guess I've never really purchased a vacuum cleaner for its looks, but if I were to, this would be it. Zooming in a bit further, and we see a couple of instructional stickers, one on the dust collection bin and the other letting you know that a trip to the charger is required before use. The top rear is finished out with some signage letting you know which power setting is which and who to call if you've got a problem. The extension tube's finish matches that of the Motorhead's. However, it is made out of anodized aluminum instead of plastic. Very lightweight, yet feels premium. So far, I'm impressed. The motorized floor roller is all plastic and uses Dyson's signature dark metallic gray coloring scheme. Unlike the previous two items, this feels a bit flimsy. I don't get the impression I'm going to break it with normal use, but it doesn't have that high-end feel the Motorhead or extension tube do. The only accessory tool included in the Origin package is the combo brush and crevice tool. There's not much to say about it, other than I wish it were a tad longer and narrower. The instructions for wall mounting the Dyson V7 are included on a small accordion style card. Required tools include a drill or driver, Phillips bit, drill bit, a marking device, a tape measurer, and a level. To install, start by making a mark 47 1/4 inches above the floor. This is the height recommended by the manufacturer. Next, go ahead and hold the bracket up to the wall, centering the bottom mounting hole over your mark, level, and mark the upper hole. Drywall anchors are included, but I'd skip them and try to hit a stud. In my opinion, not doing this will inevitably lead to the unit falling off, especially with regular use. Finally, use your drill or driver and the included screws to mount her up. But be careful, over-tightening can crack the plastic, so watch your depth. Also, don't forget to install the charging cord before attaching to the wall like I did. And now that we're done with our unboxing, assembly, and install, we've got a handy new tool to clean up our mess. After mounting, just go ahead and slip the Motorhead into place. Sit back and relax for about 3 hours, as this is how long the initial charge will take. As I was preparing to put the V7 to work, I came across my first disappointment. The fact that it doesn't work with accessories made for Dyson's upright corded vacuums. As you can see here, that although similar in function, they're completely different in design. But all is not lost. For about $10 shipped, I was able to pick up an adapter on Amazon that solved the issue. I'll place a link below. It's an affiliate link for which the channel will earn a small commission. If you are in the market for this accessory or even the vacuum itself, use is greatly appreciated. With the adapter mounted, we can now use things like the long crevice combo tool, the multi-angle brush, the excellent dusting brush, the too small stair tool, the flat out floor tool, and whatever this little brush is. Of course, because it's designed to fit into the end of your Dyson cordless, it will also store nicely in the factory supplied mount. Next up, I wanted to verify the accuracy of the claimed 30-minute runtime. To do this, I simply set the vacuum next to a clock and let it run. So, what do we think? 311 minus 240 equals about 31 minutes of runtime. I'd call that truth in advertising. After these initial performance tests, I wanted to see how well it did picking up a mess on my hardwood floors. To do so, I proposed a race between this 10-month-old 60-pound golden doodle puppy, aka Sheldon, and his much older, much smaller, and much lazier brother. Their combined efforts would be pit against the cordless Dyson. I started by adding about a cup of their food to the grinder. I then sweetened the deal with a couple sticks of canine jerky. Because I wanted a nice mixture of crumbs and kibble, I only gave the processor a couple of quick pulses. To keep the contest fair, I further made sure that both entrants to the race were dealing with the cleanup of equal amounts of doggy catnip. Finally, I went ahead and placed both horses behind the gate, spread out the treats, and started the race. After a minute or so, the Dyson's initial lead was quickly evaporating as it began to show its first real performance flaw. Very poor performance when it came to particles larger than about 1/4 of an inch. But let's keep watching. About 2 minutes in, and the dogs have taken a commanding lead. The Dyson continues to be brilliant when it comes to small debris, but it definitely struggles on the bits of kibble that didn't hit the grinder blade. Three minutes and 30 seconds into the race, and the dogs have moved on, with the little guy, Mugatu, heading over to the V7 side of the fence in search of richer pastures. Ultimately, it ended up being a joint effort. The pack was clearly better at picking up the larger pieces, while the Dyson shone when it came to the crumbs. With what I consider a somewhat disappointing performance on large particle pickup on hardwood, let's head out to the porch and see what the Dyson can do on very low pile carpeted vehicle floor mats that have been somewhat neglected over the last couple months. Okay, I'd say the vacuum passed this test handedly. Although there were a few dog hairs here and there left after a quick sweep, the overall results were very impressive. So thus far, we've got a mixed performance on the hard floor and an excellent performance on low pile carpet. Next, let's head back in and go upstairs to see how well the V7 works on my medium pile hallway carpet. Despite my co-host Sheldon getting in the way of the action, we can say that the unit is performing very well. I've got to say that I'm pretty impressed. My expectation before purchasing was that the Dyson would be a beast on wood and just okay on carpet. But honestly, my experience so far seems to be the reverse of that. Next up, I'm going to perform a little sound test action. So we've got a peak of about 73.5 decibels on the Dyson cordless and 84.5 on the upright corded unit. That's a difference of 11, but keep in mind, sound is measured on a logarithmic scale. In the real world, the cordless unit is much, much quieter. Now, anyone coming from the Dyson corded world is likely familiar with this. It's the tangle-free turbine tool. It's great for things like cars or other small areas that a normal width roller can't get to. But it's entirely powered by air. So does the V7 possess enough power to make it work? Yes. Yes, it does. And quite well, actually. When running on max power, the brushes seem to rotate nearly as quickly as they do when attached to the full-size upright. Finally, I want to show you guys what the Dyson V7 is truly a specialist at: stairs. For whatever reason, and I don't know why, but this task is probably my most hated chore. Shoveling backyard poo is higher up on my list of things to do. To help out, I purchased this aftermarket 2-foot flexible extension hose. With it attached in line between the Motorhead and the crevice tool, let's see how long this half set of stairs takes. So there it is, about a minute, and they came out great. This extension hose is also clutch when using the dusting attachment. Like the full-size tool adapter I talked about earlier, I'll place a link to this in the description and/or comments below. With the suction performance test complete, let's talk about one of this product's biggest selling points: its handling, ergonomics, and portability. And please don't judge me for what you're about to see. This is the underside of my couch. Pretty gross. But it's what you get when you set up a close-up shot of an often ignored region of your house. Luckily though, the Dyson excels at going nearly flat, and I'm now able to take care of this problem going forward. Because the floor roller is supported by a mini ball, maneuverability is outstanding, and because it's so light, the unit is genuinely a pleasure to use. One is also able to get really close and personal with the corners. And unlike many competitors, pickup near the edge of the roller is quite good. When you're all done, emptying the bin is nearly effortless. A quick pull on the release lever lifts up the filter housing and drops out the bottom. Depending on how full it is, the mess either falls right out or does so after a little tap. The very last thing I wanted to talk about is warranty. I consider it excellent. It's got a full 2 years with shipping covered both ways. Many competitors only offer 1, and you're responsible for getting it to them. Overall, I'm extremely happy with the Dyson V7 Motorhead Origin. Truth being told, after I allowed myself to splurge on it, but before it arrived, I was a little worried that I just spent over $200 on a fancy dustbuster. But it is honestly so much more than that. Its only real performance issue is the fact I can't really pick up large particles. Things like dog food or Cheerios just end up getting pushed around instead of getting sucked up. But for maintenance cleaning, pet hair, crumbs, or dust, it's perfect. I never thought for a second that it could sub in for a corded upright on carpet, but it can. I won't say that it cleans as well, but because it's so convenient, it will likely end up getting used more often. So my final thought is this: if your intended use is going to be 100% hard flooring, you might consider the Dyson V7 Fluffy instead. It's basically this unit, but with a soft roller meant for wood or tile. But if you're like me and have some combination of carpet wood and car floor mats to deal with, the Dyson V7 Origin is the way to go. And that will about do her for today. If you found any of this useful, a like, sub, or especially a share is greatly appreciated. If not, hit that thumbs down button. Okay, take care.